Hey, I'm Rahul.
And I'm Alexa.
Welcome back to
Another episode of
Relationships
Need
Verbs.
Verbs.
And on this episode, we're going to be talking about Season 1, Episode 4 of Gilmore Girls.
The Deer Hunters. And just if you were listening to our previous episode, our prediction was wrong.
Yeah.
It's not a letter to deer hunter. It's literally a deer. But I think the deer was not being hunted, but was hunting her.
And it also wasn't them going on a little daughter-daddy road trip with Luke, teaching her how to hunt, and they end up killing somebody. Which it could have been.
But also, it should be called The Deer Hunt Her. Not The Deer Hunt. Okay, now let's get into the synopsis. This one is from, I'll start off with the one from the Gilmore Girls Wikipedia. And just to give some context, this episode aired the October 26, 2000. And it was written by it was not written by Amy Sherman Palladino, this show creator. It was written by Jed Seidel, and this is the first episode written by him. And it was directed by Alan Meyerson, and I also believe it was the first episode directed by this person. Here's a synopsis from the Gilmore Girls Wikipedia. It's after receiving a bad grade on an English paper, Rory tries to prepare for a major test on Shakespeare, only to find a bored Lorelai nagging her for attention. Elsewhere, Suki broods over a review from a magazine's food critic.
That's pretty accurate.
Yeah, but I think Lorelai was nagging about her like half the episode, and the other half of the episode she was helping her. Mm-hmm. Let's see how the Gilmore Girls episode guide does on this little synopsis. Rory receives the first D of her academic career. Oh, a lot of build-up. Pushing her to stay up late to study for an upcoming test, only to oversleep. While rushing to school, a deer runs into Rory's car, and she ends up being further delayed. When English teacher Max Medina won't let her take a test, Rory has a meltdown and shouts at him, Paris and Tristan. Later at a parent-teacher meeting, Lorelai meets Mr. Medina. After a confrontation with the headmaster, Charleston Lorelai contemplates taking Rory out of Chilton, but Rory ultimately decides to stay. I want to say this kind of spoils a lot of it.
Yeah, more so like a recap after you watched if you want to remember, but yeah, it definitely breaks down exactly what happened.
Also, it's a little confusing because she had like two meetings with. It makes it seem like she met him after the tests, but she met him before the test, Lorelai.
Yeah.
But so I guess I feel like the last couple episodes I've been going with this
little booklet.
Yeah, but I'm kind of feeling like the Wikipedia page, the Gilmore Wiki or whatever it's called. I see it was better this time. I'll put the name later, but I'll honestly just Google Gilmore Girls Wikipedia.
Yeah, you'll come up with it.
But let's kind of just jump into our discussion. So, on a dark and stormy night. Well, not in the show. It's actually pretty bright outside. They were shopping for school supplies, and she's like, woohoo, party. And, they need Lycopans. And it's just a whole little bit that Lorelai likes to be goofy. Yeah. And Rory's serious. She's like all about business.
Yeah.
If they were a mullet, then Lorelai's the back and Rory's the front.
What store did they go to? Was it just a grocery store?
I feel like they only have one store and installs. Well, no, it wasn't the grocery store though. It was more like a
hardware stuff. I don't know.
It was more like I would say like a pharmacy.
I love getting my pencils from a pharmacy.
But I feel like they don't have a lot of stores. Like they don't have like Walmart.
Yeah, I would just assume they had something
like some kind of superstore because they have the grocery store and then they have this pharmacy, all convenience store looking thing. But yeah, she was like it was just a whole little bit. She just can't be serious. She wanted, but I did like the little thing though. She was like, if one dries up, one gets lost. I have one left of the highlighters.
Yeah, definitely shows how kind of nervous she is about going off to Chilton, but also wants to be prepared and needs it this way and pretty specific.
Kind of shows that she's type A and Lorelai's type B.
Yeah.
But she had lots of jokes. She was like the somber highlighters. Like and then she's like, I've never taken you. So again, just showing their relationship is the opposite of what like a typical mother-daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you see her getting on. I never noticed this. I mean, I've seen this so many times, but I've never noticed this scene. Her getting on and off the bus. And at first I was like, is she just forgetting everything? Or it was to show that she's carrying a bunch of stuff. Like, so she has like duffel bags full of books.
Yeah.
And textbook and stuff. Because I never noticed this scene before. But yeah, like she's not I don't think she's taken a gym class. She's not on the basketball team. She just kept getting off and on the bus because she was carrying a bunch of stuff. Mm-hmm. But I had never noticed this scene before. So
do you think she needs all those things every day?
I feel like it's a little bit like someone in this room that they just like to carry stuff just in case they need it. So just because I doubt that she's going to be able to get to touch every textbook by the time she gets home.
We're talking about you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought I like to hoard things and collect stuff.
But I like to carry all the things everywhere.
Yeah, like a 64-ounce water bottle that you never drink when you go on a 2-minute excursion.
Maybe I'll drink it in the drive-thru. You never know.
And she never does.
But yeah, finally I had that granola bar I had in my purse. I finally ate it. So it came in handy. I was hungry.
Oh, yeah? Mm-hmm. Nice.
But yeah, I related in that way that I like to carry everything with me, even if it doesn't get touched. But I've been trying to do better. I switched to a smaller purse. My little, I don't have it right now.
Yeah, now it's a 40-ounce water bottle.
But this is a side note. Remember how you were saying like that I have a reason if I'm carrying the heavy water bottle so that I don't have to refill it. But when I'm carrying the little water bottle, so it's because it's lighter. Mm-hmm. So I got a reason for whatever I'm carrying.
That's true.
But but going back, it's not about me. I'm not the main character of the show.
You're the main character to me.
Okay, but this is Lorelai and Rory. And so I had never noticed this scene. But then we go on to the scene of finally she gets to school. So I guess she was getting to school. It wasn't her coming home. So she's going to touch all these textbooks at school or read all of them at school. I keep saying touch on that.
Yeah, I hope she reads the books too.
I guess she is touching. Well, she's not directly touching them if they're in the duffel bag.
Anyways,
language barrier.
Yeah, she goes to class. She gets her grades back.
And no, but that was kind of like, girl, why did you not just flip your test over? She's just staring at her. Oh, she's just looking down, staring at her
staring
D.
at the D on her
paper. But like, I feel like anytime I got a grade, I would flip it over.
I don't think I would. I would definitely look at it. If people are looking at my paper, I don't care.
No, but I mean, even if it's a good grade, because I feel like I would just like, privacy. I would read it and then flip it over. But like, she's like staring at it. And like, if it was a D, obviously flip it over, put it in your backpack quick. You know they already make fun of you. I don't know why she was just like that. And also her teacher was not a real one. Mm-hmm. He was like, learn from the mistakes.
Rory.
Yeah, he was totally subjugating her. And then he's like, to err is human, and we want to beat that humanity out of you. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't
know, maybe she had a fight or flight response, and it was just the other one where it's you do nothing.
She freeze? Yeah.
And you're just like, this is not happening.
Yeah. But also, then they're like, oh, okay. Like, then she said, oh, like the test on Friday or whatever, the test. And then he introduces that. Then it shows, and I feel like this is something that's not consistent in the show. Not a spoiler, but I guess not. Maybe it's not consistent, but I just want to like take notice of it. Paris and Louise, they're both smart, I guess, and they got an A, And then Madeline, and then they call it like only Paris calls her Madeline. It seems like the other girls call her Madeline, but Paris calls her Madeline, and she got a B, and so then Paris and Louise got an A.
Does Louise sit right behind Paris?
Okay, their names don't match their faces. Who do you think Louise is? The brunette or the blonde?
The brunette?
She's not. She's the blonde.
Oh, that doesn't match, yeah.
Yeah. Right? Wouldn't you think them? I don't know. I feel like Madeline, she just seems like a blonde person.
Mm-hmm. Paris, though, that fits.
Yeah.
But so who sits behind Paris? The one who got the A? Or
both the blonde girls got A's. And the brunettes got a B and a D.
Yeah, but does the blonde person sit behind Paris?
Oh, like Tachi? Oh. I don't know, but they both got A's, and then she got a B. But I just want, like, they kind of portray these girls as, like, ditzy, but she's one of them. I guess she's pretty smart.
I guess even if you're in Chilton, you're a ditzy girl.
You're still
a smart ditzy girl. Mm-hmm. And I just think it's still funny that they show this type of dynamic of a smart girl being the bully. bullying someone who's dumb. I
Yeah.
just think it's funny, the mean smart girl.
Yeah, I think it is like they're like kind of like shy, like going away from the trope. Even like that the dumb blondes. Those blonde girls are the smart ones.
Yeah.
And they're mean girls, but they're not mean over like looks because they're all in uniforms. They're mean over their grades. They're like bullying her because she's doing bad in school. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, bullying is good. And then you know, Tristan is like flirting with her. He's like, "What are you doing Friday night? You busy at the convent?" We call her a nun.
Hey, Mary.
Yeah. But then we kind of just go into Lorelai going to work. Not Michael. Sorry, I just read it fast. Michelle gets hit with the harp. There's that little abuse.
Damaging his $300 shoes.
Yeah. Italian loafers.
Bougie man.
How is he
Lorelai pays well.
Yeah, how is he affording
Is
these?
he a gigolo?
I don't know, but I don't know, or he just spends, like, they show him as being like fit, so maybe he just doesn't spend money on food. He spends money on shoes.
True. I do want to make a note from last episode. I did try to take a look at his rear. It didn't do anything for me this episode.
Because they were like,
last episode, Drella was into him walking away. I was looking at him walking away. I didn't see much. It could have been what he was wearing, but I'll make sure to keep an eye out next episode, give you the updates.
But also him and Jella, they didn't have this, like, last episode she was like kind of
flirtatious.
But this one she just hit him.
Maybe she doesn't know how to handle her feelings. Like when I was younger, I would throw something at you to get your attention, you know, or like hit you because I don't know how to talk to you.
How much younger?
And because I was going to say younger and then bring up other girls when I was like in elementary school.
Oh, okay.
I didn't think that was going to be a good thing. So I just pivoted to me younger with you.
But then that's not a good
not that
thing.
young hitting you.
That's not a good thing either. And
so when I was like in first grade, didn't know how to talk to people. So I would hit them.
Mm-hmm.
And so Drella maybe hasn't really figured that part out.
She's pretty old to not have figured that out. And also we shouldn't continue this like thing that like
negging.
Yes.
Negging, right?
Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little playful.
That's what Tristan's doing too. Mm-hmm. I get that it's playful, but there has to be the other person is playing back.
Yeah, I mean, it's a balance, right? Like playing hard to get. Maybe Rory's playing hard to get. Tristan doesn't know.
I think she doesn't like him.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, so like it would have been, I guess also that's like the whole dynamic is that if they do something super loving and you don't like them, then it's creepy. If they do something super loving and you like them, then it's romantic. Mm-hmm. So then with negging, it's the same thing. If you're playing with it, if you're playing into it too, then it's like just playful and flirtatious. Mm-hmm. But if they're not, then it's abusive or like, you know, or like, what's that called?
Annoying,
but also what's that thing when you're like bothering someone, but like
pester?
No, like you're like stalking. Not stalking. Or, you know, it's like, you know, more a violation.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, there's that. So that was with the Michelle and his loafers. And then we hear about Suki's food review. Mm-hmm. And I liked how when they were looking in the magazine, I feel like Rory's kind of funny. Mm-hmm. Because she's like, who's naked? And they're like, we're just reading a review. And she's like, how's his butt? This show just wants to know how people's butts are. And when later on, when we see the reviewer on camera, I guess we don't even get to see because he's facing forward.
Suspicious person. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Rory's pretty funny here. Kind of, I don't know if I'd make those kind of jokes.
Oh, to your mom? To your mom and your mom's coworker? Yeah. But so they make her kind of funny. But no, I see like, but then we also already see that like their dynamic is, they're different.
They're different.
They're not like other mothers and daughters.
Yeah. I can't relate. I'm not a daughter.
Or a mother.
But just wait, though.
To be a mother. But then they say that he raves about the food, but she's mad because he said the risotto's perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm. Have you had risotto?
No, I just seen it a lot on the Bobby Flay.
On the Bobby Flays?
On the Bobby Flays.
It's good. It's kind of like rice, but it's like overrated.
Is it more like porridge?
Yeah, it's like liquidy a little bit. I haven't had it right, but I think it's overrated.
I think we might have gotten it
at like a fancy place, right?
Remember
with like lobster risotto.
Yeah, when we had the fish thing, but it wasn't. No, but that restaurant in Jenna, remember the food was undercooked? Was it that one?
I don't know. I just say, if you see risotto on the menu, look the other way.
But yeah, so she said that she's mad about that because Oh, later on we find out why she's mad about that. Not yet. Not yet.
Mm-hmm.
She needs to study. She's mad. She eats some chocolate. Then we pan to Lorelai and Rory studying, or Rory studying, Lorelai bothering her, wants to get ice cream. She's bored. She says, "Deal, let me study and I'll go shopping with you this weekend." So again, the reversal of the dynamic of mother-daughter. Sorry, thank you. Then she visits Lane. I thought it was kind of funny they did the Marco Polo to find her.
Yeah, that was cute.
And then she's eating rice cake. And she's like, "What's that?" She's like, 12 calories.
That was funny. Yeah. I mean, I've eaten rice cakes. So
They're actually 30.
It's 30. Maybe she had like an extra low cal version.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Unsalted.
Unsalted.
But yeah, if it's a plain one, I think it's 30. If it's the flavored one, it's like 60.
Maybe they've added trans fat in the 20-year timeline.
Oh, they added something to it. So now it tastes. Yeah, but yeah, then she sneaks the chocolate bar. And I thought it was funny that like every time the mom sells something, they had to get up from the table that they're sitting at.
For how she's selling so many things right away. Ain't no way she just sold that table and then the other table and the chair.
Yeah.
I think she just wants Rory out of there. She does not like
She
her.
wants him to go to the library.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Mm-hmm. Is there a library in Stars Hollow?
Yeah, I think there is.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if they ever show it.
Mm.
And she's like, "Someone asked about you at school. And I told him that you're too smart. You go to the genius school." I guess he's into brainy chicks. And she's like playing coy. She's like, "Oh, I'll keep my eyes out open for a brainy chick for him."
Mm.
But Lane knows now.
Lane knows?
Or Lane knows that Dean likes
Rory?
Yeah. But that was the only mention. He's not in this episode.
Yeah. I miss him.
He hasn't been in a while. And then back to Laura. Like they go a lot of back and forth of what's going on. And then I feel like they start the episode with them together. It seems like a little bit. And then they kind of end the episode with them together. But usually you see parallels. Like they each get their separate little scene, then they're together. Then the separate little scenes, then together.
Yeah. I like how they do that.
Yeah. Because then it makes it like
they're their own person.
not so reliant on each other. But we see Lorelai at the inn. She's telling her to not play Black Sabbath and Queen on the harp, only play Mozart. Then that's all right. I just wrote that down, just a detail. And then she tells.
Why do you think Drell is into Black Sabbath?
I think she's just bored.
You think she's bored? Interesting. Do you think Michelle likes that kind of music and she's trying to get on Michelle's good side? I'm going to take a look out for that next episode, see if we see some Black Sabbath with Michelle. What?
Nothing.
Anyways.
She's talking to, like we said last episode again, she's talking to Suki. But Suki Suki has her own problems. She's talking about the scrunchies and that she thinks that this school's so much different, that they had motions for plaid scrunchies and things like that. And then finally Suki says what's wrong. She said that her risotto was just fine. It was good enough. It's like asking, I like this one. Her whole little rant though. She was like, it's like asking when someone asks you how you are, you say fine, good enough to get you off the back, but like not have a conversation. I liked that because it's true. You say good when things are like, you always downgrade once,
Yeah, I agree. I do think she's taking it a little hard. I think it was like sandwiched. He kind of had a good compliment about one of her dishes. Then it was the risotto was fine, but the other thing was amazing. So you know what? Sometimes take what you got.
But she did say that the risotto was it was her pride that her mother didn't die for another 3 years. So now we know her mom's dead. But the risotto kept her alive for 3 more years.
I must have missed that.
That's what she says. She was like, it was her pride. On her mother's deathbed, she ate it and she lived 3 more years.
I guess it wasn't that good then.
I know. Otherwise, it went 5 years.
Yeah. Otherwise, she'd be alive.
I liked that like Jackson tried to cheer her up though. He says like, oh, the huck. Like he tries to like nag her. He's like, the huckleberry crop sucks this year.
Oh yeah.
To get her to like fight with him to make her feel better. But it doesn't seem like it.
So you like the negging for Jackson?
But she does the same thing. I think she's trying to cheer up. Like, I don't know. I think is it consensual nagging? I don't know. Then we go on to the parent meeting.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Embarrassing.
Yeah.
Lorelai, get it together.
You're not the main character.
Get it. Yeah, exactly. And that kind of happens throughout this episode where she keeps saying...
That's her, the main character's personality is that thinks she's the main character.
But even later on, we'll talk about it, but she keeps using I when she should be saying somebody else's pronouns.
Or she says we.
Yeah, like we or I, where it doesn't really make sense to do it.
And then they're like, oh, like you see that they're rich people because you're like, can we bribe someone on the committee to find... It's a joke that he says, but they're like, oh, who do we bribe? And it's just weird that she walks in and explains why she's late. Just go sit down.
Yeah, it's okay that you're late. Just don't make a scene.
She just married Joseph and the camel when she's drinking the coffee.
Yeah, that was really annoying. That's like, okay, you don't have to drink the coffee. Oh, I know your whole shtick is coffee. But if you got to drink the coffee, just drink it in the back. If you don't like it, don't drink it.
Yeah, and yes. And then when they were also, this was just a pet peeve of mine, because it's like the next AP test is in a month. If she just started the school year, how is the next AP test in a month? The AP tests are at the end of the year.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. Is it like an AP pre-test, like a PSAT kind of thing?
Because it could also be like the SAT subject tests are throughout the year, but like because you could get like it's like a SAT. There's the SAT and then there's the SAT subject test where it's like you get specific. And you just like get some.
But they said AP.
Yeah,
that's her AP class.
So that's what I'm saying. Then it doesn't. The AP classes should be the end of the year, so it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, we're nerds. We took AP classes. We know what happens. A test for AP. Maybe it was an AP class. I don't know. It was confusing.
Yeah, like okay. Oh yeah, like you have tests every month or every week or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was dumb. And then I thought it was dumb that she asked, "Can parents come?" Like.
Yeah, what do you...
Stop being so codependent. It's just, you're embarrassing me.
Just because you didn't finish high school doesn't mean you have to go back and do it again.
And then, and then I don't know why she was like, you explain, like, when they were like, you explain the golf thing, showing that she's different, that she doesn't play golf like or whatever. And they're like, oh, I think she's the one who voted for the scunchie. She must be a scholarship student. And I don't know why and then she was like, excuse me? I don't know why he stopped it at that moment.
Yeah, like
it was her fault.
She should have said something. You know?
Yeah. Also, like in that instant, her comment was dumb, but her saying "excuse me," I didn't think it was anything to be like, "Okay, settle down, people," because that was kind of rude what the lady said. Even though she shouldn't have, it was weird that she was like, "Can parents come?" Kind of there's no such thing as a dumb question. There is, but like I don't know why he stopped when she said "excuse me."
Yeah, too early. If he was a ref in a UFC fight, he would have stopped it before anything really happened. And then we would have been like, oh, you should have kept going.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Yeah. I think they could have kept it going. What if Lorelai throws a punch?
And if they offer scholarships, then why is she not getting one? Why is she going to the
parents
for
to get,
Oh, Emily and Richard were not in this episode.
Yeah. Were they at all in the beginning? I don't recall.
I know because in the beginning they were shopping for school supplies.
Oh, you're right.
They weren't in this episode. And maybe because also like later on when she ends up in the office, they're not there either. So they don't redo that. But just I didn't notice till now. And yeah, she's like, oh, and it's not.
Yeah, she started talking to him about the story of Rory.
It was really awkward. He was also not. He was liking it.
They had a little conversation with Lorelai.
A little too long of a conversation.
Yeah. But I think with what she said, do you think that's like I know it comes up later, but do you think Lorelai planted the idea of going to Harvard to Rory?
Oh, I think she definitely did.
So you think growing up for Rory, like Lorelai was telling her to study, to read, to kind of do all the things that she didn't do as a kid herself?
Yeah, I think so. Or I think she might have done. I think Lorelai is an intellectual as well, just not as she's more free. She's more like has the social aspect down, and Rory doesn't to me.
And she has a lot of pop culture intellect.
Yeah.
So do you think Lorelai raised Rory in spite of her parents and kind of like in a payback, like I'm gonna make the smartest daughter ever?
I don't know if it's not that way naturally. I feel like she just. I don't know, but I do know that like later on we see some things about the college expectations her grandparents come in. So this conversation I feel like will keep being revisited. But as of now, she said she gave her a Harvard sweater when she was 4. No 4-year-old that's that smart.
Yeah. So it definitely seems like so far it's Lorelai's
Planting the
vision
seed.
of like,
Yeah.
let's get you a Harvard sweater. You know, let's get you super smart. Make this investment happen. Get the big bucks rolling once your daughter hits college.
Yeah, like kind of living through your kid. Because I mean, this will come up again when we'll get back to we'll put a pin on this because it's gonna come back at the end of the episode too when they talk about it. But even her talking to Max Medina, it was just didn't seem like an appropriate conversation.
Mm-hmm. Definitely a little flirtatious.
Yeah, like there was a vibe.
Yeah, you gotta watch this episode to see that vibe they had between the two of them.
But she's like talking to because also like he's commenting about her T-shirt, like the B-52s or like it just like there's like he's not making that boundary, so she's walking beyond it because he's not like.
Yeah.
And I feel like in like the position he is as a teacher in a position of authority, like over her child, and he needs to make the boundaries more clear because Lorelai doesn't.
So when can he cross that boundary? Once Rory's out of high school or not his student anymore?
I think when she's out of high school completely.
4 years, Max Medina. Then you got your time.
No, because he's not, and Lorelai is not used to hearing people say no to her. So someone else needs to make the boundary line because she will just walk into it she doesn't have boundaries. But they're like talking like, oh, like, I guess they do change the conversation to her kid. But I did think it was funny that he was like, it's a tense time for some people, the waking hours. I thought that was kind of funny. Yeah. I was like, oh, you got jokes. But yeah, he says it's easy. She was like, oh, is it easy? Are you this nice to my kid? That's flirty. Yeah. He's like, oh, it's easy to be nice to you.
Hopefully he's not that nice to
yeah.
kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully he's like not, I don't know.
Mean.
But like, I don't know. Just there was a vibe.
Yeah.
He should have made a boundary. But yeah, she's like telling him their whole life story. Which I guess could be context. But at the same time, I don't know.
Also, I don't know if you noticed, but like when she left and like all the parents were kind of looking at her. Yeah. Like throughout that whole conversation, like, oh man,
they caught the vibe too.
They caught the vibe. They got the gossip. Like, I can't wait for the next ballroom dance they have where they meet up in
PTA
meeting and talk smack about her. Like that. Oh,
I'd love
to be that.
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't. I wasn't team Laura. I liked Lorelai, but I wasn't on her team in this episode for just. It's just too much immaturity.
Yeah.
Like stop. Oh, then yeah, she like overshares with the diaper thing, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, Rory's gonna be so mad when I tell her that I told you this." Like, stop, but make boundaries. I liked how then we get to the next scene where she does because Rory doesn't know that her mom knows about her D now on her paper. We see Rory studying in Luke's, and he brings her a piece of pie. I thought it was funny. She's like, "Why a pie?" He's like, "Because of violent pencil tossing." And she's like, "What if I threw a pen?" He's like, "Oh, I would have brought you a trout. I don't make the rules. I just follow them." I was like, you guys all got jokes. Okay.
I don't get it. I laughed. I want to be honest. You said that, I laughed. I have no idea what you said and why it was funny. Can you repeat it?
Yeah. So she throws a pencil when she's studying.
Okay.
And he brings her a piece of pie. She's like, "Oh, thank you. Why?" He's like, "You threw violet pencil throwing usually indicates someone needs pie." She's
Is
like,
that true?
He's just making a joke.
Oh, he's being like,
playful. Like,
oh, you throw a pencil, you get a pie.
Yeah. And she's like, "What if I threw a pen?" He said, "I would have brought you trout."
Oh, he just said that randomly.
It's just a joke.
Oh.
It's not that deep.
I thought it was.
I just think Luke's funny. I'd like to give him some one-liners. It was kind of funny.
And he's cute. And what happened next?
Lorelai walks in. She's like, "Oh, is that Hartford for the parent-teacher meeting?" She's like, he told you. And then she's like, "I like to know when I'm an idiot," because she was like saying, "Oh, like, so I can," because like she's like, "Oh, I wish I would have known about your grade before I talked to your teacher. So I like to know when I'm an idiot so I can revel in it."
Yeah, and then she was also talking about ice cream and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, that's why she said that. Yeah, she said that when she was talking about ice cream, she felt like an idiot now afterward. Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, because she was just trying to spend time with Rory. Like, oh, let's get ice cream. Let's go do this. Let's do that. But Rory wasn't really.
She was stressed out.
And she didn't understand why.
She was like, "I like to. If I was being an idiot, I want to know about it." So yeah. And then she says it's too humiliating to say she has a bad grade.
Yeah. For people out there, it's okay. If you get a bad grade, it's just a learning opportunity. You know, either something went wrong in your studying, maybe the test wasn't the way it should have been written, and sometimes you just didn't prepare, you know? So next time,
And it's just one test.
it's one test. Unless it's the SAT test. But even then, you can get another one. You can retake it.
Yeah.
AP tests, those are kind of harder to take. I don't know if you can retake those.
I don't think you can retake them.
But, you know, in summertime, you can take college courses in high school.
I think you could also, with the AP test, you could retake it the next year. So even if you're no longer in that course, you could study. And
yeah, so you always got another chance, right? That's what life's about. Get up, get down, do it again.
Very inspirational.
Thank you.
But I thought it was funny that she said it was more humiliating to love Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
I was like, it's kind of mean for the Saved by the Bell.
I haven't seen that show.
It's with
Drake?
No.
Oh.
They have like a revamp one as the bell rings was the revamp one I think on Disney Channel, but the one Saved by the Bell was like 90s. It was like with Mario Lopez and
others.
Got it. But you know, it's like Saved by the Bell, like
the bell is ringing and then you got it. Yeah.
But I was like, they always like, because there's a popular show. Of course, she's not like other girls. It's humiliating to like Saved by the Bell.
Popular show.
Yeah. So I feel like there was that. She said that self-pity is worse than the D, and I agree. So, okay, Lorelai got a point there. She was annoying me the other part of the episode, but that's true. Self-pity is worse than getting a bad grade. Like, do something about it. Stop just like...
just, you know, being in your woes.
Yeah.
Can I say that?
That's Drake, right?
Kind of. I don't know if he made up the word woes.
But the song with it.
Anyways.
But... She's like, I bet you $1 you can do this. I thought that was funny because she's like, well, you got a D, so I'm not going to bet that much.
Yeah.
I thought that was... Okay. And then, like, we cut to Rory studying on a bench.
This scene was hilarious.
Yeah.
This scene was amazing.
It was so short.
It was so short, but it was so perfect.
It was like a villain scene for sure.
Yeah, it was like this dramatic villain scene.
Let me quote Shakespeare.
Yeah, where, like you said, Rory's on a bench studying. And all of a sudden, you see the next scene, and it's just Paris leaning over the bench behind her.
Saying, like, you know, like...
not even saying anything. She's like quoting a Shakespeare.
Yeah,
like,
I don't remember the exact quote, but we'll be like, she's like, Romeo, oh, Romeo.
Yeah, Romeo, oh, Romeo, you're stupid and you're dumb. But a lot more.
She's like, Juliet is the son, and you are a son of a not very smart mother.
Mm-hmm.
But
and it was just so intense, and like, that's all she did. She leaned over, said that, and left.
And then we just cut it. Like, Rory just didn't even react. She's like,
okay.
She was defeated.
Yeah.
And then we see Suki making risotto again, but she's like facing backwards. Because she's like making a bunch of risotto again. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, I know mine's the best. None of these can compare.
Yeah, see, like, look at Suki, for example. Like, compare Suki and Rory in this situation, right? Rory got this D. She's in self-pity. She's sad. Look at Suki. She got a fine for her risotto. What did she do? She starts making 10 of them. Tries to figure out what went wrong. Why didn't he like it? Is it this? Is it that? Problem solving.
But then, okay, Rory's still studying, though. She's not problem solving. But I think the thing that Suki has on Rory is that she's got some self-confidence. She's like, but mine is still the best.
Yeah.
Rory's not like...
I am smart. I know how to do this.
I don't need to worry. I'll study and I'll be fine.
I don't need to, like, spend all hours of every day studying. I can study how much I need to. Maybe I study it more efficiently.
Yeah, because it's not efficient to study the night before for the hours past this. Like, she already has it memorized. Her mom's like, let's call it a night. And she's like, no. And it's also dumb things that are on the test. I get he said there's going to be a multiple choice portion and then an essay portion. But it doesn't seem like she's studying the essay portion. She's just studying for the multiple choice. She's like, when was it published? Why does that matter?
Well, 1572. Embarrassing.
But that's what the questions are only studying. It doesn't seem like she's like saying like talking about the meaning of the work, and that would be like I feel like that would be the essay portion. Like, oh, this was written at the time this was happening, there was a famine I don't know, something it was showing parallels to the political, you know, like I feel like that would be more AP level, like relating it to things. And like, but she's just like, okay, his birthday is June 6th.
Yeah.
Like, that stuff doesn't matter. His mother's name is Maria. Like, it's just dumb. And then she wakes up on the couch and Rory's asleep on the table and she goes and lays down next to her, which is, I guess, sweet, but also not comfy.
Yeah, but it was sweet. Like before, like Rory was studying and Lorelai fell asleep.
Oh,
so
yeah.
then Rory put a blanket on Lorelai, and then Rory fell asleep, and then Lorelai did the same thing for her, and
Yeah.
and
Like,
spent the night
yeah.
with her. Yeah,
It was a nice
they
little
take care
parallel.
of each other.
Yeah, but also I feel like she should have. I guess she's too heavy to carry her to her room, but I feel like it'd been more like, let's go to sleep.
Or just push her on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then no alarm, so they don't wake up.
Yeah, I thought this was a little redundant. Like we kind of
the
saw
first
this
episode?
very recently. I know maybe people missed the pilot when it was airing, but very similar situation we have going on with like Lorelai going to school dressed in a shirt that she shouldn't be wearing because she spilled something on it.
And Rory looks a mess. Like, it's like it's not the opposite.
Oh no, I thought like
yeah,
in the
yeah,
first episode,
yeah. No, you're right.
Lorelai went to school dressed crazy because she didn't have laundry. This one, she goes to school dressed crazy because she spilled something on it.
And then they're late again.
And
yeah.
now they're late again. So it's just two similar back-to-back episodes. So I thought that was a little bit boring.
She misses the bus, so she takes the mom's car or Lorelai's car. It does show the sign of the times though, because she's like, take the phone, like the phone, like you know, like they share the phone. But I was thinking the whole time, you know, she's like half dressed, like tucking in her skirt and like, you know, doing all her tucking her shirt into her skirt and all that stuff. I was thinking, did she brush her teeth?
Sometimes you just can't.
Okay. And she's reading at a stoplight. Dangerous. You're already late. What are you doing? Reading at a stoplight. She calls Lane to see if she left a set of notes. A deer hits the car.
How did that happen? Is that deer dumb?
Yeah, like, was it blind?
Is that deer a drone?
Yeah.
Typically, you're driving, and then a deer...
You hit a deer.
You hit a deer. But the deer hit the car. And I was trying to wrap my head around this. Was there deeper meaning here?
Oh, it's like symbolism?
Yeah, is there symbolism going on here?
Is there a play about Shakespeare that has something to do with deer?
The deer? If so, let us know. But I'm trying to think, because when you're driving in a car, you're in control, and a deer pops out of nowhere, so you weren't expecting it.
So you hit it.
And you hit it. In this one, the deer's in control, and you're just there.
And it hits you?
And
later they show the damage, and it was kind of damaged a lot.
Yeah. So what does that mean? Like you're not in control, and something else is kind of...
Like, you know, like we don't have free will.
Right. Is that what it means?
I don't know.
Well, you're following me here, right?
Yeah, no, but I don't know if there was symbolism or like... Also, why was she stopped for so long at the stop sign?
Well, you got to stop for 3 seconds.
She was stopped for a good minute.
1 Mississippi?
She was reading a passage in her book, making calls in the car. She was not being a safe driver.
1.5 Mississippi. It goes pretty slow if you actually count it out.
I think you just have to spell stop. You go S-T-O-P. That's how long you stop. Or if you're in California, you go S-T-O-P. Then you go.
Or if you're in California, you just go.
You just... California roll. Okay.
So then she makes it to school, right?
Oh, yeah. And then, but before that, she's like, Lane, I hit a deer. And she's like, was it a 4-way stop? Put salt down. I was like, okay. She's late to test, so she isn't allowed to take the test. They tell her, you got to wait in the library.
Yeah, I don't understand this. Like, I get that it's late and everybody needs to take it at the start time. But again, we don't know the details of this test.
How late is she, too?
It looked like 10 minutes because it was 8:05 and the clock said 8:15. So, yeah, like they said school starts at 8:05. So she was like 10 minutes late. And so she has to miss the test. I understand if it's like an AP test and multiple like classes are taking it at the same time and it's all proctored. But again, this just looked like a normal test being given in this classroom.
Yeah.
So I think they could have made the exception.
I don't know, because when I was in high school too, for like our math test for calculus, if you were absent, you already automatically got docked 20%. So it was like every time, like, so if you took the test the next day, you were already at 80. The highest score you could get was 80%.
Yeah, but sometimes you just can't make it.
Yeah, I don't know, but I guess I guess like they said, they have high standards because they want to. They're not just focused on the content; they're also trying to focus on making people that are business world ready, like being punctual, being prepared. So I could see there's some life skills, I guess soft skills, but like still.
Yeah, but I think a part of life is also like I got hit by a deer.
Also, why doesn't he believe her? Like she's not lying either.
Yeah,
I feel like, but she does make a fit though.
which I was there for. I was like, yes, Rory.
Her yelling at the other kids, I actually like.
Yeah, like yell at Paris, yell at Tristan.
And then also, why doesn't Paris ever get in trouble? You know, like what Paris said, like something like she went loser. And like, obviously everyone heard. That's why Rory responded.
Yeah.
But the teacher was...
And the teacher is just a bystander. He stops the fight too early, and he doesn't say anything when it's serious.
He doesn't say anything about Paris saying loser. Like, Paris, mind your own business.
Yeah.
He doesn't say anything. He just reprimands her like, you're free.
Max Medina's getting me tight. He's a bad teacher. How is he going to let people do what they want and then stop him but he's stopping the good guy?
Yeah. I do think she didn't. I mean, I know that Tristan has been like harassing her. That's the word I was looking for earlier. I know that Tristan's been like harassing her, but I thought it was kind of, she didn't need to yell at him in that moment. Tristan wasn't doing anything.
I don't know. He caught it straight. I don't care. Shoot him, Rory. Shoot him. I mean, I can't talk about that at school. But
yeah, but
she should pop him. You know, like get him. I mean, like get him out of her head. Like let him know.
Yeah. So she did use her words, but it was just also just embarrassing. I think her yelling, her little thing to Rory was good, or to Paris was good.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, she did throw a fit.
I think it was well warranted, given everything. Given everything that was like done that to her that week. She got a bad grade. She's been trying hard. She's been reading, studying all for this test, and people treat her meanly. She got a random like villain like at her, giving her a side spiel. You got Tristan harassing her. I think she was I think it was validated.
I think it was valid for the character, but okay, yourself, would you have done that?
I think I would have been like, are you serious? I studied. I'm only 10 minutes late. Can I not take it? I could go to the library and take it there if you want. I don't care if you give me 10 less minutes. I'll still finish in time if it's a time thing. I would rather have that happen. And if he's like, no, and then the girl beside me or the guy beside me is like saying something, I'd be like, I'd throw hands.
I feel like I was with you with the first half. I think I would be like, really? No? I just can't take it in the library. I'd be more like, not like yelling at it, but more like
are you dumb?
Like, really? Or I'd be like kind of like on the verge of tears, but I wouldn't cry. I'd be like, really? I can't take it in the library. Really? 10 minutes. And then if that girl's like loser, I'd be like, can you mind your own business? I feel like I wouldn't have like.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. If I'm being honest, I don't think I'd throw hands. I think I would just ignore it. And in my head, I'd be like, she's a loser. But I would still confront the teacher and be like, I need to take this test.
Or even if the person was saying like loser or whatever, I'd be like,
yeah.
Like, you know, teacher, you haven't heard, did you just hear this?
I guess he doesn't.
But I feel like
maybe he's like monetarily economistic person.
Oh, he's like
and
classist.
He's classist. Yeah, that's the word. He's like, she's poor, so I don't like her.
I hate
poor people.
But I just feel like I would. Okay, I think I would. I don't know. I'm also trying to think of myself when I was hurt, like in that. I think I would try to speak up for myself. I'd be like, really? But I don't think I would have like done it like in her way. I'm saying hers was more of a fit. Like, my name is Rory. Like, I wouldn't have done that. Like, I feel like it was a little over there.
Yeah, she was sleep deprived.
Yeah, I'm just saying I wouldn't have done that. But also, it's a show, and also.
Yeah.
But I just feel like I would have said something, but not over the top like her. And then we go on to
Emily. Oh, not to Emily.
Emily's
not
into it. Yeah, it doesn't.
I just miss her.
Suki celebrates because she finds the bill reviewer who orders the wrong wine, so that the wine made it bad. And I thought it was funny because she was like, "Oh, Celia kicked the waiter out, Brian out and he only worked one shift last week, so I found the receipt or whatever." She's like, "Oh, and then it's like their side gossip. She's like, "Oh, she kicked him out." She's like, "Well, he doesn't want kids." Well, she knew that when they moved in. I I liked the backstory on the waiter.
Yeah, it's so funny. You could give so much story in like 2 lines.
Yeah.
And you get so much out of it. I like those things.
That was pretty realistic work gossip.
Yeah.
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 That was kind of funny. But then, yeah, also and then I liked how she second guessed the waiter. She's like, well, why'd he let him order that wine? Because in fancy restaurants, the waiters do need to know like what pairs well.
Yeah.
So that I think in fancy restaurants. But, yeah. And then she's like, and then this is where Lorelai learns of Rory having a freak out because, Michelle comes in. He's like, there's a guy with a funny accent on the phone for you. And she's like, did you guys do the secret handshake? I thought that was funny.
Yeah, that is funny.
Then it cuts to Max Medina drinking tea with the headmaster. I thought that was interesting. Yeah. I don't know that they're drinking tea. That's fancy.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't no paper cup.
That was no Keurig.
Yeah.
That was no instant coffee.
Yeah, they had like little teacups.
Yeah.
Okay, and then she couldn't take the test. The dog ate my home. Oh, he's like, that's what he was like. Oh, she couldn't take the test. Oh, because the dog ate her homework. Oh, and she's like, I'm not making it. Like he was like, the dog ate my homework. I had a disease. My grandmother died. My first cousin died. Like he was doing all excuses kids do. And she's like, I'm not making excuses. And he's like, well, rules are rules. And she's like, but aren't you here to educate my child? And he's like, we will when she's on time. I was on Headmaster's side.
Yeah. I think I was kind of back and forth.
But because of their reaction to it.
Yeah.
Like if she's like, oh, I wasn't aware of this rule. Now that I'm aware of it, I know that in the future. Like she could have been more pragmatic. Like, she could have used her words better. But she's more like on Mama Bear attack mode.
Yeah.
And I wish actual school was like that. Because private school, it seems like they can the headmaster's actually in charge. Mm-hmm. But I feel like nowadays it's like you could say whatever, and then you like this. It's like customer service. The school has to be like, okay, we'll let you take the test.
Right.
So I kind of like that. Maybe that was more just a personal note. but she did, yeah. So then he was like, oh, rules are rules. Go ahead.
I appreciate her standing up for her daughter. I know one time in 6th grade, I got my project done. It was this brochure. I forgot what about, but it was the first time we made a brochure, and I made it at home, and my printer wasn't working. And so what am I to do as a lonesome boy who doesn't have access to money or funds? Like, how am I going to print something that I created? So then I go to school, and I put it on a flash drive to print out on a computer at school. And then for some reason, it won't print at school either, but I have the brochure pop up, and you can see that it's done. And guess what my teacher does? He gives me an incomplete and like a homework missing tag with thing. If I get that means I don't get the award for bringing my homework in every day and going to school every day and having good citizenship. And I was like, I did it though. And then he still gave it to me. And then I told my dad, and my dad went to the principal, and that homework ticket thing was rescinded, and I got my award. So sometimes you're a kid. You can't stand up for yourself. Rory tried to in the classroom, not successfully, but she got her parents to chime in.
But your dad was probably more not Lorelai throwing a fit in the office.
Wasn't in the room. I wasn't in the room. In the room where it happened. Shout out Hamilton. All I know is that my dad spoke to the principal. I got my award. Lorelai spoke to the headmaster. Nothing. Rory got an extension.
Oh, but that was later. Right now, they kept her waiting. They were like, oh, right now, nothing we can do.
Get out. I know. I kind of liked him keep opening the door. I'm going to try to do that.
That's pretty baller.
Yeah, like I don't know how to get people to leave. I don't know if I've been in a situation where I'm trying to get someone out.
I feel like we're never trying to get people to leave. We're trying
to leave. Yeah. But maybe I start doing that if I'm trying to leave. I just open the door and just walk out.
I feel like you're just gonna be like, I think you would go for like a hug or like bye.
Yeah, well, I guess if I'm in a situation where I want someone to leave my house, it's kind of baller to just open the door. So I'm gonna try doing that.
How would you do that on a virtual meeting though? Like you want the meeting to be over.
I was gonna open the door. I'm gonna open the door and just walk away. We get a Bluetooth mouse and click end afterwards.
You're like, oh, this was a very productive meeting. just gets up.
Yeah, leaves. Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know how you could translate this. But okay. Okay.
So then
Oh yeah,
Laura-
well she was. Oh, this is what you were talking about earlier. She's like, do you know what we have gone through this week? What we have studied? What we talked about this week? Nothing but Shakespeare. What we.
Yeah, did Lorelai have like a similar experience in high school?
She's like, we're just one person.
Yeah. Did she have to study Shakespeare and not know? Like, was it giving her flashbacks? I don't know why she kept saying we. Like, yeah, you helped her study, but you didn't study.
Yeah, I think she just thinks she's living vicariously through her daughter. She's like, what's that called? Like, yeah, I think she's living through her daughter.
Uh-huh.
But I think it's just annoying and embarrassing. I feel like I know that it kind of sucked that Rory couldn't take the test, but I feel like just Lorelai's reaction to it makes me, I don't know. I feel like she doesn't, if you wanted your kid to go to the school, you would take it seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And you would have known about this rule. Maybe I'm more of a rule follower, but like she shouldn't have known about the rules, or Rory should have known about the rule about being late and not stopped at a stop sign and read the book and got hit by a deer. Whose fault is that?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't make it clear to us as a viewer what their rules are as a school. They should have included like a pamphlet or something. Mm-hmm. I don't know, like her going over it. Because like to me, I never went to a private school, so I don't know how harsh the rules are. But in public school, you could be late sometimes. Mm-hmm. Like, I doubt every single person there has gotten to school every single time. On time.
But maybe on the days of the test. But I feel like Rory, they portray her as someone who's like goody, someone who really takes school seriously. So I feel like she should have known.
Yeah.
Maybe if she had just learned of this rule, I feel like she should have said this. I wasn't aware of this rule. Mm-hmm. Been like, I don't know. But I feel like, and also okay, yes, they didn't set alarm. It was Rory's fault that she was late. Mm-hmm. Why was she staying up so late to study? She's smarter than that. Why was she? I don't know. I know she got a bad grade earlier this week. So
she did get hit by a deer, and that was not necessarily.
But she stopped so long to be like what do I do next?
We don't know how long. She got hit by a deer, and she was like, "Am I dying? What happened to the deer?" She's sweet. She was like, "Is the deer okay?
Is her grade okay?"
Peter's gonna get you.
I feel like she stopped so long. She shouldn't have been on the phone and driving. I don't know. I thought that she made.
She did a complete stop. She was on the phone, so she didn't continue to drive. She checked on the animal that got hit, which I hope people don't even do. A lot of people do hit and runs on people.
Yeah.
Because she's a good person and kind. She got like terrible outcomes. So I feel like it's telling you, be a bad person. Get hit by a deer, keep going. Is that what you want?
I just feel like...
Is that what Chilton wants? They want their students to get hit by deers and just keep going? If that's what they are, I don't want her to go there. Drop out. Like Lorelai says later on. Drop out of Chilton.
Okay, I just feel like okay, like I see that it's not completely her fault, but there are some things she could reflect on and be like, maybe I shouldn't stay up all night studying.
Then again, Lorelai should have done that. She's her mother.
Mm-hmm. So, but I'm just saying it's not Chilton. It's not. It's part of it is Chilton's fault, but it's not completely Chilton's fault. They know. She said, even the headmaster says, "I told your daughter when she first started, this school has very high standards."
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm in the middle. I'm just playing devil's advocate. Let's seeing how. I just want to take the side of the institution. Yeah.
Interesting. How you would take the side of the institution.
I'm classist. Okay. But I mean, I sympathize with her.
Also in her rant, why did Lorelai call him like El Duce? Does that mean anything?
Yeah, it's Mussolini.
Who's that?
The fascist I forget which country.
Oh.
So she called him a fascist. Yeah.
That's funny. I get it now.
But that's what I'm saying. They have to be more like, you have to like come on. Like,
well, they gotta spice it up for television.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I know I think it's. I've seen this a lot of times. So maybe when I first watched it, I was like, oh, poor Rory. But now I don't know. Now I'm like,
you reap what you sow.
Yeah, a little bit.
She didn't sew that deer up. That's what I'm saying.
I empathize with her. Poor deer, but that deer's fine.
We never saw it again.
I
We
assume.
don't know.
Suki knocks on the reviewer's door.
Why was this so like mysterious? It was funny.
No, because she doesn't want to see him because if he reviews her again.
No, I know, but we didn't see him either. That's what was funny. He was like a dark casted shadow.
Oh, maybe they did.
Like,
Maybe they
we're
didn't
not
want to.
supposed to know.
Maybe they didn't want to credit him.
Yeah, he didn't get his like SAG after a credit. He
Yeah.
doesn't get paid enough for this.
She's okay. So she's giving him.
Yeah, she
he's
gives
all-
him the risotto.
She's like, "Are you making chicken? Too much salt?" Or,
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. Or
yeah, can you smell salt?
I guess she could. She's a master cook.
Mm-hmm.
She should try this dish with this wine. He's like, "That's highly inappropriate," but he does it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't go back to this though. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't
That's
think
it.
they really talk about what his reaction was, but he tried it, and if he tried it with the wine, then it must be good.
Yeah. I thought, and then I think they go back to, or this was before. You see that Rory and Lorelai were sitting outside the office. This might have been before, but
Yeah.
it's kind of like, oh, they're both in trouble.
Mm-hmm. We again.
We. And then they go looking for the deer again.
Mhm.
She already looked for the deer once. She's going to go looking again.
That's thoughtful.
Yeah, is there any distinguishing marks besides the word Jeep on his forehead? Funny. Then they have the whole conversation. You're not kicked out, but if you want to go to a different school, you can. You don't have to go here. When she even says it, so she's reflective. Where did it start with? Harvard, me or you? I'll still love you even if you support me in my. Oh, she said that was funny. She said, "I'll still love you." Remember we were talking about how like living through her child. She's like, "I'll still love you even if you can't support me in my old age in the way I plan to grow accustomed to."
Yeah, that's funny.
Rory
And bring back up that conversation of Harvard.
Rory says that Harvard is her thing. It's not reflective on her mom. But is she lying to herself?
Yeah, I think she is. I think it's like any kid wants to make their parents proud and like happy. And so a lot of your choices growing up are going to be to do that. If you know your mom's happy with good grades, you're going to try to get good grades.
Yeah.
If you're seeing Harvard and your mom's like, I love Harvard, it'd be great if someone went to Harvard.
Yeah.
I think you're going to start wanting to go to Harvard.
So even if Lorelai wasn't trying to push it on her, she did subliminally, like subconsciously. You buy your kid a Harvard t-shirt and you're like, oh, that Harvard t-shirt looks good on you. Oh, Harvard. Oh, Harvard.
Yeah.
Then of course she's going to want to go. So she says, and Rory says she's going to keep going. She said she has a right to reserve, to change her mind. It's her prerogative as a woman. That's what the mom says, or Lorelai says. She says she hopes the deer has insurance. Oh, you're right. I'm sorry, PETA. I hope the deer's okay. We never see the deer again. And then they get the call that the headmaster agreed to let them do extra credit. And then Max Medina is like, and if your mom is hearing this, then like, I hope to meet her again.
That
was
much.
flirting, yes.
Yeah, on an answering like message machine
That Rory's supposed to hear.
Yeah, telling her to, hey, hook me up with your mom. It does not feel right.
If he had said something like, and if your mom is listening, I really am looking forward to being a team in your education. That would be okay. Like something along the lines, like working together to get you to your dream of going to Harvard. Yeah. But he was like, "If I can't wait to see her again."
Okay.
Yeah. And that was the episode. That was our little
recap and opinions and thoughts.
Now
we're gonna jump into whose relationships
needs verbs. What do you think?
So I actually want you to go first, 'cause I think I have a good one.
So
Not that you don't have a good one.
So you want the best for last.
Okay, we need verbs here. I was trying to say I have something that might be different or unique. And so I don't know if you want to lead with that. But if yours is different and unique, I can go first.
I'll go first. It's okay.
Okay.
I think the relationship that needs verbs, or actually I have a relationship that needs verbs, but maybe less verbs, is Max Medina's relationship with Lorelai. It needs verbs as in like stopping. That's the verb it needs. It needs to stop. It needs to draw lines. It needs boundaries. That they can be a team in Rory's education. If he has some feelings for her, he needs to swallow them down. Maybe he can pursue her following Rory's graduation, and she's only a sophomore, so he needs to wait. and it needs to be appropriate.
How do you go about it? Do you just stop those flirtatious things?
You don't flirt.
So you keep it strictly educational. But how does he know? How does he keep Lorelai? Like, how does he tell Lorelai that he likes her so that she doesn't go and... Or does he just...
He doesn't.
He just deals with the fact that potentially in 4 years she might be available, she might not be.
Yeah, because
if you love someone...
No.
If you love someone...
Okay, because this can go into dangerous territory.
Dangerous territory?
Mm-hmm. Like the movie we watched December.
That's a kid, isn't it?
Yeah, so that was disgusting.
Well, I'm not talking about a
But
kid.
she loved him.
Well, I'm talking about two parents who, like, two consenting adults.
That should consent later. If it was meant to be, then they wouldn't have these boundaries.
I think that as long as she's not a student in his class and there's no way he can influence her education by getting her better grades or something.
Teachers move grade levels all the time.
Yeah,
it's always a possibility.
We don't know what happens at Chilton. And what happens at Chilton stays at Chilton.
Apparently doesn't. So I think it's not appropriate. I think that he could wait. He doesn't have to date. He can. There's other women. That's just a couple interactions. He doesn't even, if he doesn't get to know her, then he doesn't get to know anything besides that he's attracted to her.
You know what? You're right. If I was Max Medina and you were Lorelai, you know what I would do? I would quit teaching at Chilton so I could take you out on a date.
This sounds like Gossip Girl.
Oh, yeah. Shout out Gossip Girl. But yeah, I guess you're right. Wait. Or if you really love somebody, then quit your job.
Because, okay, like...
She'll provide. She works at an inn. And she takes care of a daughter. I'm sure she could take care of you.
No, like disclaimer, I love you. But, like, I still feel like they didn't get into, like, he can't just all of a sudden be in love with her.
Yeah, but, like, if he's going to quit working there, he needs to fall in love. And so he needs to act on it.
No, I think he doesn't need to get to know her. He needs to kind of swallow it down if he's still following because he doesn't know her well enough to be like, oh, they're in love. Like this is the love of his life. There's other places to meet women besides the mothers of your students.
Yeah, like Farmers Only.
Oh, is that what we're talking about? Where you meet the deers or where?
No, Farmers Only is where farmers meet each other.
Oh, really?
And you can only be a farmer.
Oh, then I guess he can't be on that one. Jackson can be though.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But he can meet women in different areas. It doesn't. He's still young. He's still like he needs to stop.
I don't know. He looks like he's what?
Lorelai's age.
And Lorelai's like 32. 32.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I see your point. They should stop, but
stop before it gets started because then that's where the boundaries are blurred, lines are blurred or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Whose relationship do you think needs verbs?
So I feel like I kind of built this up too much. I don't want it to be a letdown.
Okay, just say it.
I mean, I don't want to keep dragging it on.
Is it the reviewer?
No, I don't want it to drag on. I don't want to keep going. So I should just get to the point already.
Yeah.
So whose relationships need verbs, you might be asking?
I am asking.
And have I got the answer for you? Jackson and his tomato grower got into a fist fight.
When?
In the show, in the episode. It wasn't like visually seen, but it was a comment that Jackson made that he got into a fist fight with his tomato grower.
He said that when?
Yeah, in the episode.
When?
I don't recall the exact minute in time second.
Well, not like what was happening before, what was happening after.
It was definitely a scene with Jackson in it.
Thanks.
And I'll clip it here with the subtitles because I know that happened for a fact.
Because I forgot you. I knew it should have been Jackson because you're repping Jackson this episode.
Because I got my Jackson beanie on my head. And anyways, yeah, so that happens in the episode. I forgot if it was when he like had his zucchinis and was like, he still got to pay for it. Even though they were bad. That was kind of funny.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, he mentioned him and his tomato grower got into his fist fight.
And that's why.
And I think their relationship needs verbs. Because if he's saying he's my tomato grower, that's somebody you work with frequently.
Isn't it kind of like he's like my ring maker?
Yeah, he's like my ring maker.
Because remember you were saying like Drake says like my...
We can't keep talking about Drake.
Okay.
This isn't the Drake podcast. We could make one, though. Comment down below if you want one. But yeah, if he's your tomato grower, you can't just start fist fighting your tomato grower. I mean, we don't.
That
know.
is a verb.
Yeah,
Punching is a verb.
We don't. Yeah, but
they need different verbs.
They need different verbs. But again, like hopefully we get some more details about what happened that day, because we don't necessarily know, like, was the tomato grower his brother? Was it his best friend? Like, what the relationship is like.
Is his tomato grower himself?
Was
it
he
himself?
mad at
Was
himself? Yeah. Self-hate? I don't know. If we know a little bit more, right? If it's your friend, fist fight, it could happen.
I need to see the clip.
If it's a worker, like a professional business that you're working with, you can't fist fight them. You're gonna need tomatoes again. Suki's gonna need to make a pizza. Suki's gonna need to make a tomato risotto. Suki's gonna need to make a tomato pasta.
But
Suki's gonna need to make a tomato.
But Suki is not his only. He's not the only. She's not the only person.
We don't know that, do we?
All his business.
We don't.
He's the sole provider.
You saw them talking about which receipt was it. They sell so much food. He could be a single farmer owner of producing or gathering for Suki. I don't know. But what I do know is that he's going to need burbs. Burbs and tomatoes. So in that instance, maybe the price increased on the tomatoes. Maybe the tomatoes weren't up to quality. Either way, you got to be like, hey, man, or person who's growing this fist fight, who's growing these tomatoes, you could talk to them about, hey, if the price is too high, maybe I get some more other vegetables from you, and we could square up there. If the quality is bad, maybe give me a discount, because the quality is bad. Then you got to give me something, man, or person, or farmer. So there could have been some kind of breakdown there.
I need to see the clip, but I agree.
Yeah. I would not make this up. Look at my beanie. I think that covers it for our whose relationship needs verbs.
Now we're out of the cinematanic section.
Cinematanic section. Do you have anything?
Just the Paris scene when
that
was very villain arc.
That scene is probably up there so far with For Me. It was just so random, but so Paris.
It was so movie-like.
Yeah.
Because it's like...
Did they use a different camera? I don't know.
It was kind of scary. It was very much like if this was a movie, it would be I don't know. Like it just seemed like that. Like it didn't seem like in a normal... Like, because it would have been more... I don't know.
I love that scene. Top scene so far.
That was cinematic. And then also I liked the scene where she's feeding, where she's turned around. I feel like that was cool. But then they also could just see, he lives in Stars Hollow, the reviewer.
Oh, yeah.
Because they use that one thing. But I liked that too, I thought that was cool. Yeah. Like kind of wide. Yeah,
I thought another shot that was cool was just they had like a wide shot of Chilton in the beginning. And it just kind of sets the stage again of like
how grand it is.
This is not the public school anymore. This is Hogwarts.
This is not the Warner Brothers law.
Yeah, this is on set somewhere, fancy school. So I thought that was cool.
I agree.
And then when the deer hit the car, it was an actual deer, right? Like there was a deer on camera.
Or was that CGI? It was probably a deer.
They do have a pretty big CGI budget given the last episode with the CGI twins.
Uh-huh.
So I know they're trying to spend that CGI budget every episode. So I actually think you're right. I think the deer was CGI.
Or a puppet. Maybe it was like a prop. Like
No. It was CGI.
All right. Yeah, very. I think I didn't really... And then we talked already about the scenes kind of... But that was more story-wise. Like that they would switch... Like it'd be one Gilmore girl. One Gilmore girl. Gilmore girls. Gilmore girl, Gilmore girl, Gilmore girls.
Did I zone out? Where am I? What are we doing? What are you talking?
Like that they would want like the plot wise, like the scene. One scene would be about Lorelai. One scene would be about Rory.
Oh right.
Then both. It was like a pattern.
Yeah. So, yeah. Is that what cinematic?
That was my cinematic. I guess there wasn't that much cinematic from me on this end.
Yeah, no, me too. I think the Paris one definitely stole the show there. In the CGI deer.
And now it's fashion fit check.
Fashion fit check.
Which outfit needs to get out? And which outfit do you need to take
out?
Okay, so which was your favorite outfit?
My favorite outfit, not to sound biased, looking at my head.
Oh, I did like yeah.
Fight, it's Jackson.
Which one? There was
Jackson comes through again with the fresh fit, with the beanie on, blue overalls, and the green. I believe it was green, or was it?
Yeah, no, that one was interesting though because it was a green
camo?
No, it was like a green T-shirt, and then
Yeah.
underneath he had a long sleeve,
Yeah,
and then he
yeah.
had the overalls. I thought you were gonna say the tie-dye one, because later on he had the overalls with the tie-dye.
I think the tie-dye was too much for me. I think
Okay.
the overalls with the shirt and then the undershirt and the beanie was like kind of, it was doing it for me in a way where I was like, wow, I'd wear that
I hope not.
on me. And yeah, so I think for me it was definitely Jackson. He's got the fresh hipster fits every time, and it's working for me. And we didn't get to see too much of Lane. I'm trying to make sure I keep her in mind because I know she's got some fits too. But for me, it was definitely Jackson.
I think I liked I liked the Suki when she had she always has like the bandana, but I liked it when she switched it up and she had the pink headband and then the pink chef's jacket. Yeah, I think that was my favorite. I thought it would show it a lot because later on we see Lorelai with it. Like it was just show that I guess the times like their headband matched their shirt. Yeah, she
That's
was like
cool.
yeah. But I like Suki's first. I feel like not that she did it first, but she did it first in this episode. So I'll say Suki's. I also liked the switch from a bandana, and I liked the bandana and braids. It's cute, but I liked how she switched it up and did the headband.
Yeah.
So that was my favorite
That's cool.
outfit.
I think the bandana is also like pretty like useful in the kitchen.
Yeah.
You know, get your sweat.
Also, just either or. She just needs something to keep her hair back.
Mm-hmm.
But I like that she's got a bandana and he's got like a beanie.
Yeah, they got head stuff going on.
I think hers was my favorite. I didn't necessarily like any of Lorelai's outfits so much that they stood out. The
nothing
B-52
special.
with the blazer, and then Rory was wearing her uniform most of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
No.
So now we figured out what we got to take out. Now, what are we gonna
needs to get out?
For me, you just mentioned it. The B-52 shirt with the blazer. Like, come on. Really? Again, you're going to go to school dressed like somebody
Do you want them to talk about you?
Yeah. Like, probably. Probably. Also, I don't necessarily know what B-52 is.
It's probably
like
a band. I can Google on the spot.
B-52. Or like, give me 52 reasons why Lorelai can't just go to school dressed like a normal adult.
New wave band formed in Athens, Georgia, the country Georgia, in 1976.
Okay, random, but also like I think she said she spilled water on her shirt.
She said coffee.
Coffee? But just wear the shirt, button it up a little. Like,
yeah.
If someone asks, say you spilled coffee. You don't need to change into a B-52 shirt.
Yeah, or I don't know why she had to put the blazer on top. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess she was trying to be more. It's just like, again, you're putting a jacket over your problems.
Yeah. And if you know this is a thing, just have an outfit in your car.
Yeah, if you know you have to be dressed with all the other parents. I agree. I just thought it was, I don't know. Also, I just didn't like it that much. And then Rory, actually, I'll do a different one than you.
Okay, what's your...
I'll do Rory's, like, disheveled uniform look, where she has, like, half of it out. She's pulling her sweats off from on top of her skirt.
Mm-hmm.
Also, how did that work?
I don't know what was going on.
But I'll say that was like, come on.
Yeah.
You know... You guys know that Chilton's going to talk smack. So why are you letting them? Be prepared.
Be prepared for your day at school.
I'm not trying to be a goody-goody. I just try to take a different point of view than you.
I think
and
that's
I like the Gilmore Girls, but I've seen them so many times. I get to rag on them. You know, like how you could be mean to yourself.
And I guess I haven't seen it as much. I've only seen really in and out, nothing too consistent. So I think I'm rooting for them. Mm-hmm. I want them to succeed in life.
I want them to get it together.
All right.
What would this fly in 2024?
So honestly, there was nothing too crazy in terms of what wouldn't fly. I actually found some stuff that would fly. Like I watched it, I was like, oh, that's pretty that could happen now. One was Lane. Lane was in her closet with like red lights on.
Oh yeah.
Just chilling, like laying down.
The LED
reading.
lights are very popular.
Yeah, the LED lights that change color are super popular. And so she was like kind of in a mood room in her closet. And I was like, oh, that's so 2024. People do that all the time.
Mm-hmm. But then they're not hiding it from their parents.
Yeah, some might be. I'm sure there's lanes out there still like.
Mm-hmm. But that was a big closet.
Yeah, I thought it was her room at first. But it was a closet.
Where did she put her clothes?
I don't know. She's got a lot of fits. Mm-hmm. So we got to figure that out.
Okay. And then I think that what wouldn't fly would be, or I guess just having only one phone, just safety wise, I guess like now. Or now it's just they're more there's just more it's just easier, I guess, or maybe it's just more normalized. So even if they are expensive, people usually have a phone, even their kids. Like they're more tracking stuff like that.
Yeah, it's one of the most important things to have. I know people who are very like, don't have a lot of money, might be homeless. They're still able to try to get a phone. I think that's kind of like their first priority.
Because you need to be able to get online.
Yeah, So definitely think that wouldn't fly. Like, you got to have more phones.
But that was just also the sign of the times.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily like it's like bad. It just shows that it wasn't nowadays.
Yeah. Something I thought might fly, maybe wouldn't fly. It was just like another term. I know last week we talked about cracked. In this episode, we got quippy. Rory, when she's going on her frantic rage in class, calls Paris quippy.
What's that mean?
I think it means like quips are like quick little jabs. And so she's like, "What's up, quip? What's up, quippy? What's up, quippy? Like, what's up, person who does little quick jabs at me?" So
you're gonna bring it back to?
Yeah. Like
you
if
did,
someone's
you
like
did
this,
say cracked since the last episode. You said it kind of a couple times.
Also, cracked can also be used in different terminology in terms of gaming or really good at something. You could say that person is cracked at X video game. So yeah, I'm gonna be using cracked and quippy because somebody over here is a little quippy.
But then I thought I liked the what wouldn't fly.
In 2024,
I guess what wouldn't fly is now parents have more control, or maybe even public schools back then too. Parents have more control over over their kids' education. That if they just yell at the principal, usually they get what they want.
Life hack: if you need to get what you want and your kids in school, go yell at the principal. Need a new car? Yell at the principal.
Or yell at someone because it's always like cuss. Like let's make them happy.
Yeah. If you're a parent, be happy. Go yell at somebody.
Yeah.
PSA.
Well, I'm not saying it's good. I think we should respect, like the rules.
Respect your elders.
Respect
Be
rules.
prepared for school. Follow the rules. Get to school on time. Wear your uniform. If you get hit by a deer, kill the deer.
Don't use ignorance as an excuse. Know the rules so you know that you won't break them.
Know the rules before you break the rules.
Mm-hmm.
So that, I think, covers our what would fly in 2024.
And then the where were we? We're still in the same year, so we're still...
Yeah, I think at this time I might have been in college. Just kidding. I was a little tiny thing. So yeah, not much going on. It was October. Maybe we were looking into our Halloween costumes.
I wasn't allowed to.
Unless you didn't celebrate Halloween, then maybe you were just sad and wondering why everyone else got candy and you didn't.
Maybe I don't have any memories from the time because I wasn't able to,
Form memories?
Yeah.
That's true as well.
All right. Now, rating out of 10.
Rating out of 10. 1 to 10. Do you have a number? We got 1. We got 2. You go for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9.
I'm going to do 6.5.
6.5.
So almost a C, like a C minus maybe. Okay, like a 6.
6.5 is like a D, right?
Then 68, 16.
So like a D plus, a high D plus.
Yeah.
You're going with what Rory got on the test.
Yeah, I'm giving it a D. I am. I'll give it a high D though, like a 68.
Yeah. I think honestly, not to copy your answer, but I think it's funny just to give the grade that she got on the test. So I'm gonna give it a D as well. I think like the episode was good, but it was just like I didn't care too much for Suki's risotto arc.
And then you said like they repeated plots, like the crazy clothes at school.
Crazy clothes, going to school again. It was like
being late.
Been there, done that.
I guess they're trying to show that Chilton's hard, but that's the only really new plot development.
Yeah, I do like Rory standing up for herself. Tristan calling Paris quippy, and it did have one of my favorite scenes in the show so far with the Paris villain scene. And I think that bumps it up to that D plus range, really just for Paris. So yeah,
I would say 6.8, 7, like to be. I just
generous.
like to but it wasn't like my favorite episode. I think I just also had a lot of cringe, like with the scenes with her talking to the teacher and then them throwing fits, and I just don't like watching those scenes. I mean, you know, the water spills and stuff. or the coffee spills or whatever. I just don't like watching those. So I feel like that kind of goes into our rewatchability. I couldn't rewatch this because it makes me too. I can't watch. Like I feel like when I do my rewatches and I'm like trying to like I would skip this episode because I don't like to hear.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, like I wouldn't necessarily rewatch this either. Only if that Paris scene was coming on, I would drop everything and just stare.
I think. Yeah, I think I agree. I like that scene. I didn't because I don't. I feel like because I haven't rewatched this show a lot, this episode a lot. It was nice to see that scene because I didn't really remember it.
Yeah. If I was driving and I stopped at a stop sign for way too long
To
and
read
I was like, "What's going on?" to read a book, I would glance over on my phone and see if I have that scene pulled up for some reason. If I do, I'd watch it. I would stop there longer than 3 seconds. I would potentially get hit by a deer for that one scene.
Yeah, I agree.
But the rest, I would not. I would just walk
It's just like if you need to know the plot, like to see where Max Medina, like where his character starts, or if you're trying to get someone into Gilmore Girls and have them watch the whole story from beginning to end, yeah, watch it. But at the same time, I don't like the embarrassing scenes. Yeah. So that's where I'm at.
Awesome.
Now,
I think that wraps up the main parts of our podcast. Do you want to preview what happens next and kind of get our thoughts on what the next episode might be?
So the next episode is called Cinnamon's Wake. Not synonym, like a synonym, like cold, hot, cold.
Like Rahul, goat.
Yeah, not like that, but like
synonym, like pumpkin spice. No, cinnamon, like pumpkin spice.
Yeah.
Okay, because pumpkin spice is cinnamon, nutmeg.
No. Oh yeah.
Allspice. Ginger. And maybe something else, but cinnamon.
Because we just learned that pumpkin spice, because you told me this well, some places use actual pumpkins in
like
it too,
puree and stuff.
But they said that pumpkin spice itself is just how you would spice a pumpkin for making like pumpkin pie.
Fall facts.
Yeah. So it's cinnamon. Cinnamon's wake.
Cinnamon's wake. And a wake is open casket for
a
funeral.
Like the day before they do the funeral, like everyone gets to go, or after. It's like a little party for the cat or the person who died. Like
so someone
food.
died.
Well,
Potentially Cinnamon's wake. So whoever Cinnamon is, died. So what do you think this?
Well, yeah.
Oh, well, you don't have a hypothesis? Oh, okay, well,
then I can make my fake hypothesis. You go first.
Oh, well, my hypothesis is that we follow up with the food critic, and we find out that he didn't like it even more. Like, before it was fine, now it's like, meh. And obviously that would send Suki into a rampage, right? Because it saved her mother for 3 years. So I think she was so upset, she went ahead and created another risotto, but overpowered it with cinnamon. Because the cinnamon challenge from the way back? Like, you put a spoonful of cinnamon in your mouth and you cough it out for the cinnamon challenge. I'm sure a certain amount would kill you. And so what she did was spike the risotto with the cinnamon, took it to the food critic, and then killed him by saying, "Try it one last time. I promise you, it's gonna knock you out. It's gonna kill you.
It'll be the last thing you do. You need to eat this."
Exactly. She's gonna say something witty like that, and she'll walk away. And then the next scene will just be the bowl dropping on the floor, and like cinnamon powder on the stair steps.
I've seen it, but I think that's what happens. But I had another theory, that it's like Cinnamon's wake, but not awake like a funeral, but like wake up, because like it's pumpkin spices season, so it's like Cinnamon's wake up.
Okay, get ready for fall season.
Yeah.
So you think there might be some fall stuff going on in Stars Hollow? Okay, I see that.
So yeah, that's my theory.
Awesome.
We'll see who's right
and who's wrong. If you got some theories, put them down below. But in the meantime, we'll catch you on the next episode of
Relationships
Need Verbs. See you later, Mary. She's blushing.
Oh no.
Yeah.